Hello friends. So now we're going to do some science. I'm super excited because science is one of my favorite things to do, especially because you kind of never can tell what's going to happen. So today we are going to do an experiment called the balloon blow up. And I'm here in the sensory table because science is unpredictable sometimes. So I have a funnel as one of my materials. These are just recycled water bottles. We have inside of the water bottles, I've pre-done 2 of them for you. So inside of the water bottles, we have vinegar, and I'm going to put vinegar, we have vinegar, and I'm going to put vinegar into this water bottle. I'll do this one about halfway full of the vinegar. All right, let's just hope my experiment goes pretty well, and then I'll take the funnel out and I'll lay the funnel to the side and I'll wash it later, and I'll put the top back on the water bottle. And I also have some baking soda, and I'm gonna put the baking soda. I've already done these 2, so I'm gonna put the baking soda in the balloons. So here's a balloon, and here's a balloon. And then I'm gonna put baking soda in another balloon, and I'm gonna use a funnel to do that also. So here's my balloon. It has words on it. I thought this one would be really fun to do so that we can see how big the words get. It says congrats. I'm gonna use the funnel, and I'm gonna take the balloon and open it up, and I'll put it in there, and I'll just take a quick peek to make sure that the balloon is in there. See, a little stretch it a little bit, and then I'll take the baking soda. And I'll put it into the funnel, the baking soda into the funnel, and I'll just stretch the balloon a little so that the baking soda gets in there. If you can see it, the baking soda is going in. I think we've got about enough. And then, friends, what we're going to do now is we're going to put the balloons on top of the water bottles. I'm going to take the tops off and put the balloons on. And while we're doing that, we're going to talk about the scientific method. So the first part of the scientific method says observation, which means you're supposed to look at it, see what we're doing. So what we have is baking soda, right? And we have vinegar. And we have balloons, and I said they were going to blow up or grow. We can use that term, so it's going to hang off like so, and you want to make sure that it's on pretty tight right there. So now that we're observing, it's time to move on to the second step of the scientific method. And the second step of the scientific method would be to ask a question. So we're going to ask a question. So the question possibly could be, well, my question would be, how are the balloons going to blow up? Don't we usually use air to blow up balloons? How are these balloons going to blow up? That would be my question. We're going to use the term blow up or grow. Blow up meaning to make bigger, not to pop, just to make bigger, to grow. The third part of our scientific method is going to be hypothesis. And a hypothesis is you have to think about it. You're going to think about that hypothesis, and then now that you've thought about everything that we have, what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Your best guess. What do you think will happen? With vinegar, what do you think will happen with vinegar? And baking soda, water bottle, balloon. What do you think is going to happen? Now that I've given you a little bit of time to think about it, the next step of the scientific method is to actually do it. Now I have 3 different water bottles with 3 different levels of vinegar and 3 different doses of measurements of baking soda. So we're going to start with the smallest one and see what we get. So I'm going to slowly dump in. What's happening? Oh, I think I overfilled it. What's happening? The balloon is actually blowing up. Super cool. Now, I want you to be super cautious because it's still blowing up. There's air still going in it, and I'm holding it to make sure that the balloon doesn't fly off. Now that the bubbles, the fizz has stopped, I'm going to let go, and I'm going to move it over. Okay, so this is one, and we're going to do the second one. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slowly put the baking soda in, and it's going to blow up. It's going to grow bigger and bigger. And this one's getting really big, making me a little nervous. But if you look closely, you can see that it's going into the balloon. And it's making it really big. I'll back up a little so you can see how big it's actually getting. It's a really big balloon. It's growing. And as the fizz stops, then I'm going to set this one down. And now this is the one where, the yellow one, where the words congrats. We want to see how big the words get. But I used about half the bottle, so this is about 8 ounces of vinegar. And I used about 3 tablespoons of baking soda. Let's just hope Miss Shikisha didn't overdo it. I'm going to see how big those words get for me. You can see again that it's actually coming into the balloon. It's still fizzing. And those words, congrats, are pretty big. They're visible, we can see them. It's getting bigger. And the name of this experiment is Balloon Blow Up. Or grow. This was so much fun to do. I miss you guys so much. It would have been awesome to hear I would love to hear the comments that you guys have to say about this experiment. It's one of my absolute favorites. So here we have congrats. We have our purple balloon. They are pretty big. And then we have our smaller balloon. Now remember, this one was the smallest one of all anyway. And the last part, the last 2 steps of our scientific method is the data. Now, what happened? We saw that when we put the baking soda into the vinegar, the balloon got big. But how? How did it happen? Well, when you mix vinegar and baking soda together, it creates a gas. And gas is just air. So it creates air together, which allows the balloon to blow up. So it's the same kind of air that we use when we put our mouths on the balloon to blow them up. If you use vinegar and baking soda, it'll blow them up too. I miss you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.